even though nobody's here yet, I know some of you are going to watch this after it's not live anymore. We're going to go ahead and give updates. I got some work to do while you guys are here. If anybody chooses to hang out, I know it's Friday night and everybody's out partying and I have no life. I'm a loser. I stay at home. And then I got a story on this saw that I'm working on and about the person. And it also ties into some of the comments we've received lately and the impact they have on me and why I think assumptions are bad and why I think people assuming things and then commenting the things that they assume is wrong. So that being said, we'll wait for some people to get here. Well, hey, Jenny, Australia, right? Oh, yeah, there you go. Australian flag, American flag. What's up, neighbor? We're going to wait for a few more people to come in, but if you have anything to say, anything to ask, want to tell a joke, want to tell me about your life, want to share a burden, go ahead in the comments and let us know. I was doing some talking, just giving a little bit of an intro, because live events get posted once they're processed by YouTube, and they make sure I didn't say things like, fuck, shh, I'm not supposed to say that, and chit, or shit, or damn. They don't like that stuff. They like to censor our freedom of speech in America. And we're having us an adult beverage tonight because we're in miserable pain, we're tired as hell, and we got a lot going on. Jenny, your country has spiders this big. I see videos on YouTube of people all the time dealing with spiders this big and this big and this big over there. And I'm like, hell no. I don't know what happened that caused all the critters in Australia to be so damn gigantic and scary looking. But yeah, I couldn't imagine living there and having an infestation of cockroaches. They pick you up and carry you away. Just 3 of them is all it take. Shit. Yeah. Don't make fun of it because I'm gimp. I heard that, damn it. Okay. So we'll give it a couple more minutes. Shit. Ted's going to be mad at me. I forgot to tell him I was going live. Sometimes I forget to text people that want text reminders before I go live. Oh, goodness. No, I don't know that I could ever get used to that. I mean, at least they eat your gigantic mosquitoes, right? Yeah, damn, I usually always try to tell Ted. The thing is that when I do just a text post, it seems that not too many people see it. It seems only a couple people see it. You have to seemingly be paying attention to the community tab on somebody's channel to know if they post that they're going live. I sometimes in my feed have people's posts come up, but very, very rarely do I have, of course, I'm not subscribed to many channels, but very, very rarely do I have the people that I am subscribed to have their actual posts come up. Like Tasman went live, I think it was last night, and I had no idea because even though his videos come up in my feed, I never see his posts in my feed. And so if he gave notice that he was going live, it didn't come up on my feed. Everything is still a mess. I have had 0 chance to clean my shop since my uncle went to hospital. I'm going to give you guys an update on that in just a minute. I did go see him yesterday. And so I'm going to explain to those of you that have not been here very long kind of what my uncle's character is like. That way you understand the things I'm going to be saying as I give the update. And then, like I said, I've got to work on these saws because normally, Jenny, I normally do try to every Friday, and I don't know who else is here, but I try to every Friday. On Thursday night, I try to record. There you go. These are the vermin that seek, kill, and destroy me, or at least attempt to. But you can't knock the Chainsaw Redeemer down too long. I tried to do a shed shop update weekly, and just kind of it started out mainly just chainsaws. But I like watching First Amendment auditors. Uh, I don't want to say I like watching cop watchers when I am feeling very sinful and angry. I like watching them because then I can easily hide my conscience that they're human beings too, even though they're tyrannical assholes, most of them. Don't get me wrong, I know there are good cops out there. I actually watched a guy last night that I've never watched before, and there was this cop named Michael. And this guy had ran into this cop, I think, in either Portland, Oregon or Portland, Maine, I'm assuming. And the guy was really nice. And this guy was going to the FAA because some viewers sent him some complaints that they were unable to get FOIAs at FAA and were treated really shitty. And it just so happened to be this cop, Michael, that he saw all the way on the other side of the country. And this guy, this security guard at the FAA was just being a dick to this guy. You're not coming in. You're not going in with an escort. And then he tried to walk into an open lobby. And the guy was like, the security guard was like, no, you can't go over there. And this cop just basically fucking told this security guard off. He told him off. And he finally told him, you need to stop right now. And you just need to leave this area while he's here. I don't care if you go sit outside and have a cigarette. I don't care if you go complain to your supervisor. I don't care what you do, but you need to not be anywhere he is while he's in this building. And it was kind of cool. I was like, damn, I wish every cop was like that. Then our country would be hella better. Our world would be hella better. So, I went and saw my uncle yesterday. Again, I don't know. This is a Friday night, so I don't know how many people were getting here. The last time I went live on a Friday night, it wasn't a very popular live at all. And I suppose that's probably because people have more interesting lives than me. If you guys don't know, my uncle fell critically ill a few weeks ago. He had a full body infection, went septic, had renal failure, had to go on dialysis, all kinds of problems, was on a ventilator, feeding tube, whole 9 yards. And then, let's see, about a week ago, he started rebounding and getting better. And a couple days ago, they took him. Yeah, Saturday morning, Jenny. I know. Hey, side note. This is kind of cool, Jenny. Check this out. You're in the future. This event is live. You're in the future, and I'm in your past. So you're where I haven't been yet, and I'm where you've already been in time. Isn't that fascinating shit? Yet we live on the same planet. Kind of cool, right? I've always found that fascinating anyways. So back to my uncle. To tell you a little bit about Uncle's character, he's 54 years old, and he has been basically waited on hand and foot pretty much all his life by my grandmother, and she died 2 years ago. And then my uncle spent just shy of a year, about 9 months, living here by himself, jobless most of the time. And he gives his money to scammers. He thinks that Dolly Parton is in love with him. That the real Dolly Parton is a lookalike. And even though he knows this shit isn't true, he still gives this scammer money. And so basically, before my grandmother had died, she had told my father that she desired for me to come down here and help look after my uncle after she passed. And that is kind of a difficult statement for me to even believe today still. I tell my dad I struggle believing him because my grandmother hated me. She did not like me very much. But given that I had been off of drugs for a couple of years, well, a little over a year when she died, and that I'm basically the only one in that side of the family that could pick up and just kind of leave my life, to come here, I suppose that played factor in it. And so I saw my uncle one time as a kid. I was about 10 years old, and we went on vacation to Ohio, and that was the first time I met him. And probably 20 years passed to where I barely ever spoke a word to him or him me until he finally got onto the Facebook there. And we would send messages once in a while on the messenger, you know, just to say hey to each other, check on each other's lives and whatnot. But it was very rare, you know. once every couple of years, there might be messages for a few days, and that was it. And so the only things I really knew about my uncle was the things that I was told. I was told he was a habitual liar. I was told he was a very angry, violent person. I was told that he was very lazy. I was told that he was very, very, very selfish over food. And the majority of that reigns true. The one that does not is my uncle is not violent like I was told. That's not to say he wasn't in times past, but a lot of people, when they think of violent, just because somebody is verbally aggressive or defensive, a lot of people consider that violent. Well, I'm a very verbally violent person then, because a lot of us as human beings, when we feel offended or hurt, oftentimes our first response is defense, and that defense oftentimes come in, you hurt my feelings, and so I have to put a shield up, and that shield is anger. That shield is, I'm going to push you back with anger. It is a defense mechanism, and I think that is largely what goes on with my uncle. But nonetheless, he is very, 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 very lazy, and he is very, very selfish over food. And to give an example, now you guys just stick with me because I love my uncle very much. We'll get to the good shit, but the reality is reality. Facts are facts. When I first moved here, he did not have a job, and I would buy food. For example, if I ordered a pizza for us and wings, because before I came here, I had a very healthy diet. And my uncle told me that, he wanted to start working out with me. Even though I'm disabled, I was using my Total Gym quite frequently. Because I can do very easy, very gentle exercises on that. I was a very good, not good, but I was a very active athlete. I worked out all the time. I was in incredibly good shape until I got run over. He told me that, he believed that with diet changes and lifestyle changes and prayer that we could heal his diabetes. And I believe that too. He told me he wanted to work out. He told me he wanted to start walking. He told me he wanted to eat better. But all of that, I think, was lies. Because when I got here, I couldn't get him to eat anything healthy. He only likes 2 vegetables, and one of them is not really a vegetable. It is a grain. He will eat super sweet corn and French style green beans only. That's it. No peas, no cabbage, no spinach, no asparagus, no Brussels sprouts, no regular style green beans, any unsweet corn. He won't eat it unless you put a bunch of sugar in it, even though he's a diabetic. He won't eat lettuce. I'm sorry, take that back. He will eat iceberg lettuce only, but it has to have a jar of dressing on it. And by jar, I mean most people might put a cup of dressing on their salad that's this big. He likes a little lettuce with his salad dressing. And so the other thing is my uncle is a major exaggerator, and he is the boy who cries wolf. And because of those reasons, when he got sick, I did not take it as seriously as it actually was, because up until the Monday night before I took him to the hospital, it was just his typical complaints, except in a more severe way. I don't quite know how to explain that, but there's always something wrong with him. He's always ill in some type of way. And despite the fact that he lies all the time, he gets mad that people don't believe him. And so with that being said, one of the challenges I have today is my uncle told me that he can't even wipe his own ass right now. And I have been run over, and I had to relearn how to walk and wipe my own ass and everything. In fact, I had to learn how to do it with my left hand, neighbors, and I'm right-handed. Not fun. I don't want to call him a liar. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he was telling me that he's doing twice as many exercises as the physical therapy is requesting of him. And oh, by the way, you guys will have to tell me what you think of the horizontal opposed to the vertical view here on the live. I didn't know you could change it until just now. I was tinkering with the live settings. I didn't even know, in fact, that you could change the title. I saw somebody go live yesterday and saw their title, and I was like, well, I can do that. So tell me what you think of that. And then, so I didn't want to disbelieve my uncle about his level of weakness. And I did some research on, you know, what happened to him and what it can cause. And I spoke to his nurses and whatnots. But I found out my uncle is not telling the truth about how much exercise he's doing. He's not telling the truth about the effort he's putting forth. It seems that he could be, however, telling the truth about the level of weakness. But here is my thing, neighbors. If you can eat with your two hands off of a tray in front of you, and you can turn that tray, and you can, I finally got a hug from my uncle yesterday. I haven't had a hug from him since the Monday night before he went to the hospital. Okay. And I like my uncle's hugs. It sounds like Fatty Buntings is outside. Dion must have let her out. I'll see if I hear Paul's. Fatty Buntings. Ah, here she is, neighbors. What are you doing? We're hanging out with our neighbors, huh? Here's the Fatty Buntings, guys. Can you see her? No, you can't. Can't quite see her. Would you guys like to say hi? Come here. Up. Get up. Up, up. No, look. Come here. Over here. Turn around. Come here. Up, up, up. Up. Good. Up. Stay. Good. Stay. Oh, she didn't stay. Well, there she is. Say hello, Fatty Buntings. Okay. So, that being said, again, I know there's only a couple of you here, but a lot of people will watch this later. My uncle. Yes, and the strength that my uncle used to hug me, I felt, well, even if you can't walk to the toilet, it seems to me that you can wipe your own ass. And if you can use your big heavy laptop and lift it and move it, yeah, Jenny, she's freaking awesome. I love her. Then you should be able to wipe your own ass. My uncle, I fear this is going to be the challenge with the rehabilitation is, he likes being weighted on hand and foot. And, I don't believe he's going to push as hard as he needs to. And the way I see it is everybody is different. I got kind of forced by the nurses and doctors to push hard. And with my character and the way I am, I suppose some people call me a people pleaser. And I guess I am in certain ways, but at the same time, there's days where I just don't give a fuck. I'm going to tell you how I feel, and if you don't like it, tough shit. You know, there's days where it's like, I'm sorry, I hurt, this, that, whatever, and I won't hide it. But so that is what I'm faced with Uncle right now, trying to figure out the balance of believing him in what he's saying his weakness is, but if you almost died and you want to live, to me, laying in a hospital bed, watching TV, playing on the computer, and being weighted on hand and foot is not living. A lot of people might enjoy that, but for me, I don't consider that living. I consider that dying. And he doesn't believe in suicide. He thinks it is like the greatest sin on earth. But the way I see it, if you're a diabetic and you eat tubs of ice cream, you're committing suicide. You're just doing it at a very, very slow rate. Especially when you acknowledge depression. You know, I think all of us on this planet suffer some kind of anxiety or depression in some type of way. Even if it's, damn it, buddy! What's up, neighbor? You played hooky, I heard today. I don't know. I called you work today, neighbor. I talked to Jason. Just kidding, neighbor. I don't know why you missed work, but anyways, back to it with Uncle. Shit. Oh, situational anxiety, depression. I think all of us in some type of way face that, especially when we think of it on a situational aspect. When I started going through my divorce and my wife was not letting me see my child as the courts ordered her to, I went through a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and they diagnosed me with situational anxiety. And I'm thinking, okay, Isn't that called being human? Right? If you have situational anxiety, so situations in life can cause you anxiety or depression. Well, Chet, neighbors, situations in life like coming live and hanging out with you guys causes me happiness and makes me high and gives me dopamine hits. So, does that mean I'll have situational happiness? Seems to be. But anyways, Uncle is doing better. And that is a huge relief to me. The greatest challenge we are facing right now is he's not working and his work will not respond to us, and so we think he doesn't have a job anymore. And yes, they can do that. We are trying to get the paperwork filled out that protects his job for 90 days, but his work is really pushing back against us. The only update I have on the Texas situation is that they are allowing me to apply for the public defender from here. And so I should be able to largely fight that case from here and then hopefully get it closed out real soon. So you guys get to see exactly what the hell they did to me 3 years ago. Felony stopping me, terrifying the shit out of me, ordering me out of my vehicle at gunpoint for no freaking reason at all. Next, I have this saw on my bench, and I cannot switch the camera. Oh, yes, you know what, neighbors? It looks like we can. I just won't be able to see the chat. Let's see here. I know not all of you are here for chainsaws because this is the coolest freaking YouTube channel ever, and we like to give you variety, and we like to appease multiple people, not just one niche of people. So, this is from a local neighbor here, and I'm not going to give his name on the testimony that I'm about to tell you with his life. I met this young man about 6 or 8 months ago. He called me up looking for a chainsaw. He was looking to do a barter deal. He struggles with dope, and here in Tennessee, dope is methamphetamine, you guys. He is married with children, and his wife too struggles with dope addiction. Okay. When I met him, he told me he was not on dope, and that his wife dabbled once in a while still. Look, I can still see the chat if I look at it. And basically, he bought a saw off of me. I let him take a $500 saw. Well, it was $600 saw. I gave it to him for $500 because he had said, you know, just getting my life back on track and this and that, and it seemed like he was a hard worker, and so I allowed him a good deal, but I allowed him to only put $200 deposit on the saw, and I expressed to him, just like I do anybody I offer that kind of deal, is, here's the way I see it. If you can't pay somebody and you owe them money, you need to tell them, I can't pay you this week. But I also see it in the aspect of, you should be able to give somebody $5 a week if you're making money and you owe them $300. Well, he did struggle with the communication like most people do, but he did get his bill paid in the time frame he had. And even though he didn't communicate and that bothered me, at least he paid his bill. Well, he's not a very good communicator, and so I barely heard from him after that. We were supposed to do some work together and do a little bit of partnership in business together. With some trees and various things, and that never happened. But out of the blue, he called me today and asked if he could stop by. He actually woke me up because I was struggling to sleep again last night as usual. Didn't get to sleep until about 3 or 4 in the morning, and we've rebuilt our carburetor already, so we can put that on. And he asked if he could stop by. He had some saws and stuff, and I was thinking, okay, he's just going to be trying to sell me a pile of garbage, and I'm not going to buy it because I'm moving away from chainsaws as much as possible because of my health. But he did bring a couple of junk saws over, and he ended up selling that saw that he bought off me a while back, and he had gained a lot of weight, which is good. It's always nice to see a drug addict getting fat, because what that means is that person is most likely now doing food instead of drugs. And so I noticed he gained a lot of weight, and he was telling me, basically, he brought his 2 kids over, and he was telling me, basically, you know, that, yeah, I lied to you before. I was doing the dope still, pretty much on a daily basis. this and that. And I said, well, I respect the shit out of you that even though you were doing meth every day, you still paid your bill. And, you know, he kind of told me he sold his good saws to support the habit, and was asking me if I could work a little deal with him. And we did work out a deal. He got a Husqvarna 455 Rancher that I had as a service saw, and I got a 201T that I need to do some work to and replace some parts on, and an 026. I don't know if you're here, Ted. Did you come in yet? Dude, I'm sorry I didn't text you. I know you like to get a text, but brother, I can't always remember. I was helping my other uncle here in town as well. And so I forgot to text everybody that likes to get texts before I go live. Sorry, guys. And shit, it's raining. And I lost my train of thought. I'll get it back. Hold on a moment, neighbors. I have to have a beverage. And so basically, this is his saw. And, oh yeah, I got an 026 that I think has a good motor. And anybody that follows the channel for the chainsaws, y'all know I have 3 damn 026s. 2 full ones, 1 partial, that if Ted Neitzel ever gets his damn 026 from Tony, that partial is a part saw for the 2 of us to use to get complete 026s. And hopefully that has a good motor, but it's been run over. And so if it has a good motor, then I'll be able to build an 026 here soon. But nonetheless, this one, let's see. Now, I forget initially. Oh, yes, the chain tensioner was broken. And, damn, why did he originally have me look at the saw, though? We had to do something. Oh, yes, the chain brake wasn't working right. And he asked me how much it would cost to have me look at that. And, you know, you guys, here's my thing. If somebody's trying to do life right, I don't care what they've done wrong. If they're trying to do it right, I try to help them out. And while I can't always work for free, more often than I probably should, I work for very cheap or very free for my neighbors that have had lives like me, very hard lives, struggling with various addictions or traumas or whatever's. And so we went ahead and put a saw on the bench and started working on it. And a lot of times with this shit, the chainsaw people, you know, you start finding all kinds of problems. So fortunately, he had the parts for his chain tensioner, but his sprocket was bad, so he had to buy a new sprocket. And basically what I'll typically do in a situation like that is I will give them low or no cost labor, and then they pay for their parts. And we started finding problems. Once we fixed all the obvious stuff, Matthew took his saw out there, and I'm glad he tried to start it. Because he started it and it wouldn't idle, and so I was trying to adjust the carburetor because he doesn't know how, and I couldn't get the saw to tune in, and so I said, shit, we're gonna have to do your carburetor. And we go to take his carburetor off, and his air filter is junk, and then we get his carburetor off, and I'm like, well, hell, I'm this deep into the saw. I said, at this point, I've put over an hour of work into the saw. I'm gonna go ahead and vac pressure test it for you. That way we can make sure my work is not all for naught. And of course, it had an air leak, and we ended up having to tear the whole damn saw down, including this handle, and jerry rigging a setup to pressure test it without the handle on. And his crankshaft seal was bad. And so that's why we're having to do this saw right now. Because it's on my bench. And then next, we're going to do neighbor Nathan Bolton's MS271. We have to change a diaphragm out on his carburetor because that shit doesn't want to run right, even though we have vacuum pressure tested it and it passed. We've changed both of his fuel lines, and the saw's still being an asshole. So I have, on those carburetors, used a different style metering diaphragm to get them to work before. So that's it. I'll have to work while I update you guys. And I'm trying to think of what else we need updates on. Do you guys have any questions about any of the stories going on right now on the channel? Any questions about me? Any questions about our future on this channel? You guys can go ahead and ask. I can see the screen. And if I miss your question, just comment it again, because I noticed on this horizontal, the chat does not stay up for me, so I cannot see it except for a few seconds after you guys post a comment. Jenny, where in Australia are you? I'm kind of curious. Let's see. Are you still here, Jenny? I might not be a smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is. Why don't you love me, Jenny? Sydney, Australia. You're in the city. Bleh. I don't like big cities. Are you a city girl? Do you like the city, Jenny? Damn it, Bobby. Why aren't you door dashing tonight? Okay, I know he lost that screw. We'll have to get him a new one. Oh, shit. That one snapped off, too. See? More strip screws I got to deal with. Yep. Should be able to get that one out pretty easy, though. Don't have my nitpicks over here, damn it. It's raining, so the signal, you guys, might get bad. I don't know how many people we have in here for. That's okay. I don't mind. The last live, we did pretty good. We had like 12 people at a time. Of course, it was 2.5 hours damn long. Can't believe how long you guys hung out that time. Let's see. Okay, so I guess, let's see. Definitely not a city girl. Only moved to Sydney 3 years ago. I'm not near the city, though. I thought Sydney was all like city. Jenny? Am I incorrect in that, obviously, then? And damn it, Bobby didn't answer. Damn it, Bobby, why aren't you door dashing tonight? Or are you? You are. I am incorrect, she says. Well, damn, you didn't have to call me stupid, Jenny. Told you, I know I might not be a smart man. Just kidding. Where were you before Sydney? And what brought you to Sydney? Where's all my neighbors that want to tell me I'm not disabled because I can work on a chainsaw? I'm out in the quiet suburbs away from the city. I was dashing. Did you make another $7? Damn it, Bobby. Or did you make $8 tonight? Shit, I usually tip you that when you come out to my house alone. For those of you that don't know, damn it, Bobby is also a small engine mechanic, but he is better at 4 strokes than 2 strokes. 33. Well, shit. You did good, damn it, Bobby. $33. That'll get you a quarter tank of gas, which will take you halfway across town. Yeah, he does. He knows a lot more about the 4 strokes than I do. And so we help each other out from time to time, kind of resolve issues we might have by bouncing ideas off of each other, and sometimes actually help each other work on equipment. I had a freaking 33 minutes. I was 90 minutes down south of Sydney on the east coast of the beach. Well, why the hell did you move, Jenny? Does it work? I had a lawnmower that I worked on for Nathan Bolton, a push mower, and it worked good, and I took it back to Nathan, but it slammed in the back of the truck last minute, and the cover, the air filter housing, actually ended up cracking, I think, and so I ordered a new one, and then the damn mower never did start again. Damn it, Bobby was here one day, and I was telling him I was having issues with it, and he was looking at it with me. Well, there was a little slide to get away from the crazy ex-hubby. Oh, a lot of us have crazy exes. Am I going down under? I don't think Australia would let me into their country given my former past there. Damn it, Bobby. Although I have always wanted to go to Australia just to fight a kangaroo. Let's see. I'm looking for 8 mil. And yeah, damn it, Bobby found I forgot to remove a little freaking cover. Our spiders are too big for him. That's right, Jetty. Jason Cameron. Hey, buddy, how are you doing today? Jason, I recognize your name. Cameron. Jason, can you... Jason Cameron. Damn, I'm trying to think of who you are, neighbor. I'm so sorry. Jason Cameron. Damn it. Are you a local neighbor, Jason? I'm still here just waiting for a reply. I made a comment. Okay. Well, welcome, Jason. What brought you to the channel? Because as you know, most YouTube channels are focused on one very specific thing, and this channel is not. We have a variety of things here, and so I always like to know what it is that brought somebody to the channel. Where the hell is my 8 mil? There it is. No, I live in Maine. Okay, I spent some time in Maine, about 7.5 years. That's where my son is. He is in near the Bangor area. Where are you at in Maine, Jason? Sorry, that's loud. I know, neighbors. Okay, that's done. Now we can go ahead and get audit check hooked up. I stumbled across when all that happened to your uncle and how they treated you in the hospital. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of update. I gave the update on my uncle already, Jason, so you can watch the live. It'll probably process tonight and be made public tomorrow. It's always depends on YouTube when I can get a live up because they take forever to process it. They have to go through it and see if it's liberal enough for them. Because they certainly don't like freedom of speech. Jenny, I did try actually sending it to Lackluster, but I'm having issues getting I have the raw footage on my phone still. I'm having issues. He has a thing where you click to load it to his website, and it will not even begin to load. I've tried it on the Wi-Fi. And on my cell data, which I do most of my stuff with my cell data, because it works really well. But yeah, it didn't go through, and I have considered, like, I kind of like San Joaquin Valley transparency. He always seems like a decent enough human being, and the challenge I have is I don't, people. I'm sorry, but auditors. I don't mean to say anything bad about anybody, but a lot of these auditors, they just go and they'll literally uncomfortably linger somewhere until they get a reaction. So they will sit in a waiting room of a public facility for 40 minutes until somebody finally says something. And to me, that's not how you love your neighbor. That's just you're trying to invoke confrontation. And then again, I have issues with cops, and a lot of times I do say negative shit to cops just because my experience is the majority of them in America really are fucking assholes. They really are lowlives, but they're trained to be that way. But they have a choice. They have a choice whether to submit to grotesque wickedness like that or not. And so when they do, you're not going to get no sympathy from me. You're part of the problem, not the solution, in my opinion. Now, he does not have his grommet. And I think I am pretty much out of grommets for this. Let me see. We have one. If we do, we'll donate one to him. Wrong container. Here we are. Let's see if one of these will work. I think this one might. We'll try it. No, it does not fit on his inlet needle. Nor will it fit on those. Damn aftermarket parts. Go figure. But I do believe this Pharmatech one might work. It's supposed to be for this model. Let's see. Yes, I believe that'll work for us. Excellent. It will. So we'll go ahead and donate that part for him. There we are. Oh, wow, my chat didn't stop. Sorry. Try sending it to here's the deal. Okay, Jenny, I'll look that one up. Bangor, awesome, Jason. I grew up, I keep wanting to say I grew up there. I lived there for 7 years. I agree with you on some of the auditors. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he's a lawyer and he does all nothing but, civil rights cases. That's probably the civilrightslawyer.com. Tell us a story. AJ, what kind of story do you want? I thought that's what I had been doing, was telling stories. They're just true stories. I just told the story of the guy on this saw and his life struggles a little bit. And so, again, and not wanting to be too repetitive, you can watch the live once it becomes public after it processes, which will probably be by tomorrow, to get the story there. And then I updated you guys on my uncle. As far as the hospital thing, I really haven't had a chance. I was going to spend today calling lawyers and stuff, but again, Matthew can't get everything done he wants to every single day. The Chainsaw Redeemer struggles. And he oftentimes has neighbors randomly call him or show up at his house, because that is my policy. People are always welcome until they're a dirtbag. Cops are only welcome if they're out of uniform. I didn't finish the story on the push mower. Damn it, Bobby, I did tell the story. You found the little damn cover that was preventing airflow. And then the mower started right away, and it's cutting grass now. What else was there to tell? If you have something to add, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. AJ, aren't you also, your name's showing AJ06 Bolt, but your was lost now found, aren't you? If I'm looking at your profile. Tell us a story about when you have been happiest. Your story is always about your struggles, which I get is your life recently, but you must have had a happy time. Well, that's good. I can do that. Okay. Yes, my stories are oftentimes about struggles because in order to understand who I am, you have to understand that the vast majority of my life has been struggle. But let's see. I can tell you the happiest thing about when I was a child was when I got adopted. I grew up in a very rough home. My birth father has, that we know of, 17 children. 17, correct, 17. Side note, Jason, yes, I actually lived on Church Street in Brewer, just over the Central Bridge, right across from the place where you go for general assistance. And then I lived in Bangor. I lived in the Bangor Efficiency Apartments for a while. And then I lived over there on the corner, right over there by DHS on the corner of Union Street. And I can't remember the name of the other street, but there's a mobile. And then there's those 3-bedroom apartments that are like transitional housing that you can live there for 2 years. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought your profile picture was that of a guy. His handle was lost but now found, or something like that. Everybody's YouTube handles on my channel, for some reason, you guys have 2 and 3 different tags that show up for me. I don't know why, so that's why I get confused about who you guys are sometimes. So back to AJ's question there. A story about when I was happiest. So like I said, the first 8 years of my life, sorry, let me get a beverage. I was in and out of foster homes, and I was beaten. I was raped by my birth father while I watched him rape my brothers and sisters as well. He was a crackhead, and he was continuously remarrying and divorcing. My birth mother was a terrible mother. And once she was out of the picture, she basically made no effort to be a part of our lives. The fact that she didn't even try to get visitation or custody with us is why my birth father had us. And then When I was about 7, my birth father was extremely good at bowling. Okay, not candlestick bowling, regular bowling. And he was in tournaments a lot and stuff, and at one point actually owned a bowling alley. Um, and so we quite frequently spent time at the bowling alley, and because he was in a lot of leagues, he ended up meeting my adoption parents, Tracy and Tracy. Yes, both their names are Tracy. My adoption mother was murdered, as you guys know. And I'll tell you guys a lot about that story someday. And then we used to go spend the night at Tracy and Tracy's house a lot. Just me. At the time, there was 5 children in the house, and my stepmom, Lori. So it was myself. I was the middle child in that scenario. The oldest was my sister Marie. Then next came my brother Bruce Jr., and then me, and then Christian, and then the baby was little baby Brett. He was literally a baby at the time. And so me and Christian would go spend the night with them quite frequently, and we used to ask them all the time to adopt us. We told them that we wanted them to be our parents, and that ended up kind of happening. So basically, my birth father asked them at one point, can you take Matthew and Christian for a little while I get back on my feet again? And so they did, and then it turned into they were going to go ahead and adopt us. The challenge is, technically, by law, we were legally kidnapped because my adoption mother never went and signed the final piece of paper she needed to sign for the adoption to be finalized. I don't see his air filter cover. Maybe it's in the other building, or maybe he accidentally took it. But otherwise, I think we are done with this saw besides barring it up. I'm looking, and it looks like we are. And we can't start it tonight because I did just put the Yamabond on it. And I like to let it sit overnight. So we'll put our bar and chain back on, and then we'll be done with that. And so basically, they were really nice to us. And at the time, my adoption mother had just been secretly using pain pills more than she was supposed to be taking them for her endometriosis. And my father worked. He worked at the Publix warehouse. At that time, he only had to work one job. And by father, I mean my adoption father. And like I said, they ended up taking us in. And I remember the very first Christmas with them after we became theirs. We lived in a 2-bedroom house on San Luis Street in Northport, Florida. It wasn't a very big house, but we had a gigantic backyard. We had our cats, Boogie and Junior, and our dog Spike. He was a German Shepherd, and he was really well behaved. But that Christmas was really special, and here's the reason why. It wasn't, I don't know quite, I guess I can't quite say fully how I felt as an 8-year-old child, but basically Christmases prior to that were, we would get like 2 or 3 things from the dollar store if we were lucky. And they usually weren't even wrapped. They were just set under a freaking tree that wasn't even decorated. Because as I said, my birth father was a crackhead, and most of the women he dated were crackheads too. And he was addicted to pornography real bad, and just really, really had a lot of wickedness in him. And so that Christmas, I remember I really liked Bugs Bunny as a kid, and my brother really liked Mickey Mouse. And we got a lot of presents. The living room, the tree was in the corner, and when we woke up in the morning, the living room was about 75 cent full. The first 5 feet outside of the tree were stacked like 6 feet high worth of gifts, and then the rest of it was, 2 to 3 feet high. Sorry if I'm missing the chat here. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Hope House. No, Jason, I'm not talking about the Hope House. I know what the Hope House is. It's a homeless shelter. I'm not talking about the Hope House. I want to know how you got ran over by a car. Damn it, Bobby, you know that story. I've told that story a lot here. I'm sorry for all you've been through. Yeah, see, the thing is, AJ, a lot of this is on my videos that get like 8 and 10 views. I put a playlist up called Confessions at the Parts Washer. and I confess my sins and I tell certain things. And also, a lot of people are not here for the chainsaws. I would say at least a third of my audience is here because of nothing to do with chainsaws. They just came across a video about me, or like what people call a First Amendment audit, even though it's incidental audits, and that's why they're here. And so you guys know that are here for the chainsaws that oftentimes I'll tell you guys a little bit about life or a story before I do my chainsaws. So that being said, back to the Christmas, AJ, it was interesting for an 8-year-old child. We're done with this saw, so I guess I can turn you guys up now. And I got to get to the next one. I don't mind you guys hanging out if you want while I get toward working on the next saw. But I do got to go get a cigarette. Sorry, neighbors. Do you know I'm on meth? Can you tell? The eyes don't lie, right? People like to say I'm on meth, neighbors, even though January 2nd will be 3 years without drugs. As a child, to feel like you mattered, possessions and gifts shouldn't be what makes you feel mattered. But when you went your whole life being one of the only children in the neighborhood that didn't have parents, basically, that didn't get Christmas gifts, that didn't have proper clothes to wear to school, that didn't get a new backpack every year, that Christmas was something that made me feel, I guess, for the first time, that life wasn't what I thought it was. That, I thought love was just aggression and beatings and parents that let you do whatever the hell you wanted, and getting picked on and bullied, and having your siblings exhibit the same behavior their father exhibited and rape their other siblings. And so that Christmas was amazing. Unfortunately, the only time of the adoption that was good was that first year or so, because my adoption mother was a drug addict, and she used all the money my dad made to secretly be a drug addict and to have her affairs. No, AJ, my dad says he believes in God and he believes that it's Jesus. But again, on this channel, you've heard me say a lot of times that my father taught me a lot of biblical principles, yet he's never read the damn Bible. And I don't just mean don't steal and this and that. There's a Bible scripture that says, be angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. There's Bible scripture that says when you have a qualm with your brother, that it should be the most important thing of the day, that you need to resolve that matter, or agree that we can't resolve this today, but we will resolve it. And we're going to go to bed essentially unmad. Like if you are angry or you are mad, it's not a sin to go to bed. If, for example, in a marriage, if you're mad at your wife or you're mad at your husband, it's not a sin to go to bed angry, but it is a sin to go to bed without telling them that you're angry. Okay. And again, I know not everybody believes in Jesus. You guys know on this channel, I don't give a shit what you believe. I say, God damn it, while I read the Bible. I don't care what you believe. What Jesus said about how we treat each other, that's what we should all believe. The man Jesus was a very real figure in the world, and he was crucified by Pontius Pilate. That's historical fact. It's whether you believe he's the king of the universe or not. And again, I don't particularly care. I care about loving you, and I care about you learning how to love your neighbors better, and me learning how to love my neighbors better. So that being said, sidetracked there. Shit, sorry. I'll get it back, neighbors. No, my adopted parents were not religious, and my dad taught me that. He said, you never go to bed angry. He taught me things that just, it's hard to fathom a man that's never read the Bible would understand, because most non-religious households don't teach these principles that my father taught. And so I thought that was kind of cool. And as I continue to read and study the Bible and various things, I'll text my daddy and I'll be like, hey, Daddy, did you know that you taught me this shit? And Jesus said that's what we're supposed to do, yet you've never read the Bible. And so that's why my largest belief always comes back to, well, shit, it seems like it can't be anything other than Jesus. You know what I mean? But either way, that's that. Let's see. I guess I can give you one more positive story. Damn it, Bobby. Again, I've told the car story, the getting run over story a lot. And I thought I told you that personally as well. Here we go. I have a local neighbor that texted me and said he ran across my YouTube channel, was asking me about help with a 291. I'll have to send him this link because we're going to show you how to rebuild a carburetor here on a 271 and put it back on if we have enough time. The other greatest happiness I think I ever had in my life, aside from the day my son was born, and that one I can't talk about right now because I'll start crying, was the time I spent with my high school sweetheart. Again, you guys should know, and if you don't, that's okay. I got bullied a lot in school. I was never part of a clique or anything. It's funny, they sent a list around when I was a sophomore, I think, in high school, and they were asking what category we belonged to, like goth or prep or jock or this or that. And I thought, wow, this is really weird. There was like 60 different categories. Now, mind you, we had 2,863 kids. No, I'm sorry. I think there was 2,300 kids. No, let's see. Where'd the text go? I'm sorry, AJ. I'm trying to keep up with your text here. I'm struggling. Yeah, I ended up to check out you because of I saw Facebook, came here, saw but stayed with the stories, but didn't go on a deep dive on your other older videos. Were your adopted parents religious? I answered that. How did you end up so well versed in the Bible? Part of getting sober, or did it come earlier? No, sir. Okay, well, damn it, Bobby. I will tell the story again at some point, but not right now. And I'll tell it to you personally next time I see you if you remind me and I have time. AJ, no. 3 years ago, I read the Bible a little bit as a kid, and I went to church very, very little in my life. I've done very little church in my life because Jesus said, come a time you won't find him in a fucking building. You find him right here in your heart. He says he'll write his laws on your heart. And the Bible says there is now, therefore, no private interpretation of Scripture. All Scripture is given by inspiration of the Holy Ghost and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. And so, it says, Jesus said, if I do not leave, I cannot send you the great comforter. He will teach you all things. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, if you believe in the Bible. If not, again, I don't give a shit. Stick around. And so, a few years ago, I just took my Bible and I slammed it on the counter, and I said, just like this, okay, God damn it, I'm tired of hearing from man, Jesus Christ. If you're fucking real, who the fuck are you? Teach me. It says your Holy Spirit will teach me, so teach me. And I just have read the Bible a lot, you know, and certain scriptures just stick in my head, and I have about 10 that I tried to memorize, but it's kind of funny. The ones I try to memorize, I struggle to memorize. And so I don't even try to memorize Bible scriptures. And I especially don't try to memorize addresses. The reason being, in the Hebrew, there's no addresses. There's no verse numbers. It's just the book. The book of Job is the book of Job, and it's written straight through and through, you know. So let's see. We were talking about that. AJ asked a question, and I got sidetracked by the question. Not sidetracked, but I did. And I was going to tell you about high school. We were talking about high school, the separate groups. I never understood that. I was never part of any group. I put at the bottom of the sheet, why do I have to categorize myself? Can we start a group called human being? I'm just a human being. I'm not a jock. I'm not a gothic. I'm not a prep. I was in ROTC. I was a straight A student. I played football and I did wrestling, but I got bullied by the nerds. I got bullied by the jocks. I got bullied by my wrestling teammates. I got bullied by my freaking football teammates. And I got bullied by my ROTC buddies. They weren't my buddies. So that's always perplexed me. I think they teach us at a very young age to identify ourselves and divide ourselves. No, AJ, you're fine, bud. I'm good. You can ask all the questions you want. You guys know that. I encourage your questions. I encourage your comments. I encourage you to be nosy about my life. That's what we're here for. Cast your burdens upon one another so that you may carry them together. Shit. The only way you get to know somebody is by asking questions. And if you don't ask questions, well, then you don't get answers. You just have to hope I say something that you might be wondering about. That's right, Ski-Boo. What's up, neighbor? Shit. Yeah, you know what it is already. This is where the cool kids hang out. You're damn right. I grabbed the wrong car parts. We are working on a Zama carburetor on an MS271. And we are using our diaphragm kit. It's not a full kit. From CTS. I like them. I order all my carburetor parts from them when I can. And they give me really good deals because I spend a hell of a ton of money with them. And we're working toward having specialized packaging and everything else. Well, Jenny, let me ask you something. Okay, neighbor, sorry. Everybody else leave the fucking room. Just kidding, you can stay. Jenny, is that picture on your YouTube? Is that you? Is that what you look like, really? I want to know. I've been curious. So let's see. While we wait for that answer. Yeah, AJ, feel free to ask any questions you want. Oh, I'm back to high school. I brought all that up because AJ asked about times I was happy in my life. I basically had what I considered one friend in high school, and that was my high school sweetheart, Mary Ann Russell. We met when I was in the 8th grade, and I was a very shy kid. I had one girlfriend prior. Oh, shit, Jenny, no wonder why they're asking you out. Damn, girl. Sorry, not sorry. You fine as hell. Don't mean to embarrass you, but I'm the one turning red. I was a very shy kid. I had one girlfriend prior to Mary, and she asked me out. There was this girl, Dawn, in middle school, and here we go. Welcome to this episode of Confessions at the Parts Washer, except we're not washing filthy, vile, dirty, disgusting chainsaw parts while we confess our sins. Her name was Dawn. It was in the 7th grade, and we was in computer class together, and she sat behind me. And one day she leans up to me, and I'm sorry, honestly, I unfortunately am in some ways, when it comes to physical attributes, I'm shallow. I shouldn't be. I hate that I am. I have missed out on potentially good relationships with women because of my shallowness. We all have a type, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. In my opinion, every human being on this planet is beautiful to somebody. But at the same time, when you're honest about being shallow about certain things, you get people that come out and tell you you're a piece of shit, this and that, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, can I not be a piece of shit, but it's just a character flaw of mine that I don't like? So this girl, Dawn, leans up one day in computer class and she says, hey, Matthew, I have a question for you. I said, okay, cool. What do you need help with? Because I was used to people asking me for help because I was smart. I wasn't smart. I had to work really, really hard. That's what it was. I was just a hard worker and wanted to make my dad proud. She says, will you go out with me? You guys want to know what I responded with? Let me get off the camera here. Can you guys tell I'm red on the camera? Does it show? Here's what I responded with. Dawn was cute. Don't get me wrong. She was really cute. But, again, I'm not going to get into details. There's certain things I'm just shallow about. I responded with, let me think about it. I didn't know what the hell to say, you guys. I had never, ever, ever, ever asked a girl out or had a girl ask me out. And I had only ever asked one girl out. Her name was Caitlin Mall. In the 5th grade. I wrote her a real long letter telling her about how all year I was trying to build up the courage to go up and talk to her. And one day she was one of the people that, what do they call them? Not crossing guards, but safety students. And so she would be there with her vest and getting the kids off the bus or whatever, dropped off at school. And I slipped a note in her backpack. And like 2 days later, I'll get back to Dawn. Like 2 days later, she sent her friend Amber up to me, her best friend. And she said, Kate says, no, thank you. Is your birth father still living? Oh, Jenny, did I embarrass you and run you off? You got quiet. My birth father is dead. He died about 2 years ago. His heart exploded. Did he ever atone for his vast, serious transgressions against his offspring. Long story there, AJ. Hopefully I can answer that for you another day, because that's a really long story. Yeah, I don't try to lie about it. I'm just honest about it. AJ, there, about the shallowness, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, Kate had her friend Amber come up and tell me she's not interested in being a kid that's shy and very much, even today, lacks confidence. What I can tell you, the greatest thing a man has to have to get a good woman is he has to be confident. Women are attracted to confidence. Honestly, I think, I don't want to say before physical looks, but the females in here, you can tell me right or wrong. I'm okay either way. I'm not going to bash you if you say I'm wrong. It's a man that's confident, okay? And oftentimes men that don't have certain things are confident, and we wonder, well, how the hell did he get that beautiful woman? Why is she with him? He's 350 pounds, and or he's a good-looking guy, but he's a low-life, worthless drug addict. Well, confidence attracts women, and it is vice versa. Not cockiness, you guys. There is a huge difference between egotistical and cocky versus confidence. Damn, everything on my bench, everything is a mess. So with that, I lacked confidence. And so when Kate turned me down, I always wondered why. Oh, maybe it's because I'm poor. Maybe it's because I don't have nice clothes, name brand clothes like the other kids. Maybe it's because I still have the same backpack that I had last year. All these things that even as a kid, you don't think a fifth-year-old little boy would think, but I did. I thought a lot of shit. Never assumed it was anything other than something was wrong with me. Never assumed it was anything. Never even thought it was possible it was anything other than what's wrong with me. But when Dawn asked me out, I had no idea what the fuck to say. I was caught so off guard. And I was like, me? Have a girlfriend? Somebody wants to go out with me? And so I told Dawn yes. I responded with, let me think about it. But I told her I would give her an answer before class let out, and I did. I said yes. And we went out for an entire week. Here's what happened. Here's me confessing my shitty sins to you. Some kid I barely even knew that was in, I think it was my English class, told me she was ugly and asked me what I was doing with the ugly girl. And in my opinion, I didn't think she was ugly. She had some issues with her teeth, but to me, she was not ugly. She had a really beautiful body. I liked her hair, even though it was a lot shorter than I like. And I can see her perfectly clearly as that 7th grader right now. And I can envision exactly what she looked like, and I'll never forget her. But she was real nice to me. But this kid says to me, why are you going out with an ugly girl? You're never going to be popular if you date an ugly girl. You're not going to have any friends if you date an ugly girl. And he says, you want me to go break up with her for you? And what did my dumbass say? What did my shitty, shallow, confused child mouth come out with? Yes. Instant regret. Especially when the next day she had a new boyfriend. Instant regret. I tried to get her back. Didn't work. But that's why you have to be cautious how you let people influence you. I see all these social media influencers, and I'm like, boy, people are just sheep. It's ridiculous. It honestly is. If somebody's not influencing you in a way that improves your life, encourages you to be nice to people, encourages you to seek out the positive things about your character, the positive things about your life, and also encourages you to self-reflect on the things you're shitty with, your negative character, they shouldn't be influencing you at all. And if they're influencing you to tell you, oh, you need to do this, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. No, the only influence should be, this is my view of it, but don't listen to me. Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to the president. Don't listen to your mom. Don't listen to your dad. In the end, listen to you. Take what everybody else says, decide how much value it has in the situation each time. Not beating myself up, AJ. And then make the decision yourself. I think I ran Jenny off. Damn, she hasn't said a word since I said she's good looking. In the end, you have to make your decision, and you have to make sure that the decision you're making is not influenced by others. It's one thing to weigh other people's opinions and thoughts and their skills, their there she is, and their attributes, etc. It's an entirely another thing to let somebody else cause you to make decisions. It's just like, we can say, well, you made me angry. You made me hit you. You called me names. You yelled at me. Blah, 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 blah. That's bullshit. What you're saying there is, I gave you control of my emotions. Okay? Because you choose. You choose whether you get angry or not. You choose how you react to what somebody else does. It's your choice. That's another thing my father taught me, and the Bible says that too. My father has no idea that shit's in the Bible, but that shit is very in-depth in the Bible. In Romans, and there's a little bit about that in 1 John, Corinthians, Psalm, shit. David talked about that shit too. Solomon even wrote about that shit. Ecclesiastes has a little bit that touches on that. So that's right. Yeah, it is, AJ. I need to read your other two things here. I didn't get all of it. Yeah, the dating pool value diminishes quite a bit as we get older. I know that much. It is funny, AJ, and it is relatable. I expect people to laugh at it. That's why I do share. I laugh at my own struggles sometimes. Listen, you guys, it's okay. It's okay. It takes a lot to offend me. It might not necessarily take a lot to hurt my feelings, but again, I choose how I react to that. How you feel here and here doesn't have to be how you react here or with this and this. You see what I'm saying? It's not on somebody else. They didn't cause you to do something. You chose to let them take your emotions and say, you're going to be angry. You chose to let them take your emotions and say, you're going to be sad. It's on you, neighbors. You get to choose. Don't ever give somebody control of your emotions. Keep control of your own damn emotions. So with that, shit, I've got to get this 271 finished for Nathan. We're almost there. I got the carburetor with the new diaphragm we're going to try. A different style. I'm throwing his muffler parts on the fatty buntings. I think I'll put this saw together. Not my place to say, but careful how you let the police affect your emotions and affect your actions and words. That's right, AJ, and that's one of the areas, if you have, like with police, I'll give you guys the video. Boy, this live kills the battery fast. I'll give you guys the video. It's a very short video, but I got pulled over a few weeks back, and the cop walked up to the window, and I said, do you like harassing poor people? And he said, I pulled you over for not wearing your seatbelt. And we had our seatbelts on, but we didn't have them on when he saw us a while back. But he went way out of his way, did a massive circle. We were at a traffic light going this way. He was over here, and we turned left, and he went all the way that way, went all the way through the plaza, came back through, and followed us. We pulled into a parking lot, literally, to put our seatbelts on because we realized we didn't have them on. And then we pulled out of the parking lot. He pulled us over, and he came back up to the window, and he said, I don't remember his exact words, but again, I will put the video. I was thinking about it last night. I was like, yeah, I should put this up there. He basically said something about, before you assume I'm like all other cops, maybe you should consider that I was just going to give you a warning. And he said, I don't see any seatbelt tickets on your record, so you're free to leave. And he's right, because what happens is, I try to explain to cops, though, but they again, I am generalizing most of them, because I've had experiences and encounters with a lot of police. He says to me, I'm sorry, you guys, the phone has to be plugged in. The bench is a freaking mess. Eventually, we'll get all this shit caught up. He says to me, or I try to explain to cops that I might be defensive naturally, and I might be acting a certain type of way, but they seem to not understand that I'm saying, I'm not assuming you're that way, but please give me grace and mercy and understand that because most of my experiences with cops have been bad, I am this way. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that I am this way because of my past experiences. And so there's not a one-size-fits-all way to deal with cops. They're not all assholes, even though in America, most of them are assholes. But a lot of them are assholes for one very large reason. They're trained to be. And because they're thinking about their wife, their kids, their rent, their credit card bills, their insurance, their hospital bills, their career. They care more about that than they do what's right most of the time. So it might be tugging at them and tearing their conscience apart that they're violating their moral compass in their job and not standing up against bad cops. But to me, if you believe in Jesus, there's zero fucking excuse for that. Zero. Because he said his law matters first. And if you have to violate his law of loving your neighbor to do your job, shouldn't matter. And he said, worry not for tomorrow. Don't worry about what you eat. Don't worry about your clothes. Don't worry about where you're going to live. You don't trust me to take care of you. That's what the hell he said, neighbors. So while I try to be nice to cops and give them the benefit of the doubt, it seems like pretty much every time I do that, the cops are still shitty, still assholes. Well, see, here's the problem. Yeah, I'll see you, damn it, Bobby. I'm about out of here, too. AJ, here's the problem with that. They have a fucking gun on their hip. They have a gun on their hip. And it's not shit pay. You should see what the cops in my town make. A lot of the cops nowadays are making more than freaking people that have been in their job for 10 years. You know, they want to disarm us. If they're scared about they don't know what's going to happen to them, they might get shot, they might this, they might that, they're in the wrong fucking job. They're in the wrong job because their fear is going to cause them to shoot somebody just because they're legally carrying a gun. And that's why I say, I'm tired. I'm sorry. I don't care if you agree or disagree. That's up to you. I am fucking tired of Americans handing over their guns for police safety. They have no right to disarm you for police safety. No right. Do you know how many people are getting shot by police wrongfully in America? Like 12 a day. 12 a day. Okay? Now, do you know how many white people versus black people are getting shot in America? Way more white people get shot by police than black people in America. You just don't hear about that. So, if you guys want to stick around, I'm going to go ahead and finish this saw up real quick. And we'll see if it's going to fire up and run okay. And then I'll have to cut with it tomorrow so Nathan can come get it. But after that, I am going to have to go. So if you have any finishing thoughts, any finishing comments, if you want to tell me I'm a piece of shit, go ahead. It's your right. Freedom of speech. You ask any more questions you want real quick, now's the time because we're going to go ahead and get out of here soon. Because I said I was only going to be live for 30 minutes to an hour, but the time fucking flies because you guys are awesome. And so, I like hanging out with you guys. I really do. It's kind of nicer when it's a small crowd because you can give more personal attention. I don't much like the YouTubers that pretend they care about us and they don't. That's part of why I started a YouTube channel. I'm like, well, shit. I want to actually read comments, not just say I read them and heart them. Because I can tell you, I've said some shit on some YouTube channels. Hey, Deborah, how you doing? Welcome, neighbor. You got here late, but the whole event, you should be able to watch it tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be up. I've said some shit on some YouTube channels, especially to the guy that his fakeness, which I thought was genuine, of being a simple, humble guy, is why I decided I could go ahead and start a YouTube channel. You know, he does saws, no professional training, blah, blah, blah. But, I tried to get him to answer a question of mine for like almost a year. I would comment on every single one of his videos, encourage him. And I had one very specific question that I couldn't find the answer to in any of his videos. And I also just simply, honestly, wanted a response. Especially after I started my YouTube channel, I wanted him to say thank you, at least, you know. Thank you for saying I was part of the reason why you were brave enough to start your YouTube channel, even though you know people are going to tell you you don't know what you're doing, even though you have no professional training in chainsaws, even though you know you're going to have to deal with hate, being a sensitive guy, all that stuff. Yeah, AJ, we'll have to talk on that subject a lot more, the whole police subject, because I got lots of footage coming up for you guys that has to do with that shit, and there's going to be a lot of hate coming from it. That's two letter. Let me comment. I'm doing okay, Deborah. Thank you. My brain. Judging. No, that wasn't it. Let's see. Oh, yes. This YouTuber, and I don't say his name, and it's because, again, I just don't see any sense in throwing hate out there. Just because I feel this guy is fake doesn't mean I need to tell you who he is and why he's fake. Because I have my evidence, but that doesn't mean, again, I just don't want to be, I've shit in the shit soup of life and been mean enough in life. Ted, that's all I've been saying for a while. Sorry for not texting you, buddy. I didn't text nobody. Please forgive me. I did do a post, though. So this guy just never answered me, never responded to me, never, ever, ever. And I really, I just like, honestly, I desperately just wanted him to acknowledge the fact that I was showing him gratitude. Is that wrong? Maybe. A lot of people won't think it is. Is it wrong biblically? I don't know, maybe. But, oh, shit, I did this wrong. Speaking of wrong, I put the shit on wrong. He never did. And he's one of these YouTubers that talks about how he reads every comment, even though he might not respond to every comment. And he responds to probably 1% of his comments tops. Maybe 1%. But he says he reads them all. And a lot of YouTubers tell you that shit. They sit here and tell you they read all your comments. You see those hearts, right? No, neighbors, one click. Boom. Everybody's hearted. Just like that. And so I decided to test a theory. I spent about 6 months commenting horrendous, horrible, mean shit to these YouTubers that say they read all their comments. While granted, a lot of them may have gotten held for review, a lot of them also, I saw just public. They were there. So they weren't held for review. People were replying to them. And I said stuff that there's no way in hell, heaven, earth, Pluto, Mars, moon, I don't care. There's no way, the type of shit I said to this guy especially, not meaning it, but saying it just to see, just to test. There's no way he'd sit there and heart a comment that says threats against his children and wife. Why would you heart that? Why? There's no way. There's no way. And so there's also First Amendment auditors and, constitutionalists and this and that. All kinds of different, damn, I forgot, that doesn't fit in there. All kinds of different channels. And you guys, I don't like lying. If you're not reading people's comments and you don't personally care about them, why you gotta lie? Why you gotta lie? If you don't care about your viewers, why you gotta lie? They're the reason. This channel's small, but please understand the amount of money a lot of YouTubers make. And people sit there and still give them membership money, Different subject. I live in mid-Tennessee. Wouldn't mind doing some business with you. So on. Yeah, I don't get many 372s there, AJ, but shit, man, if you're in Middle Tennessee, come by sometime. Neighbor, I didn't know you were that local. Or maybe you did tell me and I forgot, but at least I'm not lying to you. You might have told me and I did you dirty and forgot because I got brain damage. And because sometimes I'm selfish and don't try to remember the things you guys tell me. Most of the time I try real hard. But that being said, that again is part of why I started this YouTube. Because it's like, well, damn, I might not succeed and I might only get 5 followers. But at least they'll know I give a shit about them. Because I'll respond to their comments. I'll reply to them. I'll actually pay attention. My responses will be, Ted Neitzel will tell you, my responses will be responses that are obvious that I read what you said. It will be obvious that I'm paying attention to what you're saying. At least in my opinion. Is your shit stripped out? Don't know, Nathan. I think one of your shits might be messed up. Trying to figure it out here. I think we need to replace this air filter housing. Just seeing if our stud is spinning. What is going on here? Okay, we're on our nut. There, caught thread there. Okay. Get our air filter on here. I know I stopped mid-sentence there, but I think I was pretty much done with my thought. So, yeah. I just want to be different. I've always been different, and I never wanted to be different because being different, I didn't fit in. I didn't fit in anywhere. I never have, never will, and I'm okay with that. Because you know what? That means I'm one of the most unique motherfuckers on this planet. And I'm going to own it. Can't please everyone all the time you have. Yeah, you have to have a good balance. Who was that? I saw a star. Oh, that's Deborah Star. Deborah, thank you for being a member, Deborah. I really appreciate that. It definitely helps the channel grow. There we go. This saw really, I believe will run, but the question is, will it run in wood? Of course, I don't have gas in here. It's dark as hell out, and you guys are on live support, so I can't unplug you. So that's pretty much going to be it. Let me catch my breath here, and I will give you guys a moment while I catch my breath. If you want to say anything else, if you want to comment on anything else, etc., etc. Ted, I wanted to see if the Husqvarna 55 has the same recoil spool, because if so, I wanted to include that in your box. Damn, I forgot Rob's box. I didn't forget. I just got busy. Rob's box today too. So I guess I will spend Sunday hopefully trying to get you and Rob's packages together. But I really did. I wanted to see that 61 run, and I wanted to look at the piston. Just every bench surface I have is covered with saws I'm working on right now. So it's kind of hard. Ted, I worked on an 021. You might enjoy the story on that saw. And so once the live is posted, I appreciate that, AJ. Thank you. Yeah, and even if they do, that's their problem. Anybody that doesn't feel cared about here, well, sorry. Not sorry. I think I try really hard. That's why I get inundated with phone calls and texts and emails all day long. Not always. And please, you guys, don't think, well, I don't want to bother him. If you want to send a text or an email or a comment or anything, yeah, again, Deborah, you can watch that. That was the very first update I gave, was on Uncle and a story about Uncle and everything. Shit. You guys don't think that, well, yes, I'm very busy. But part of my busyness is responding to you guys, and it is a blessing. Some days, I'm not gonna lie, some days it does get overwhelming when you spend 5 hours and you still haven't seemed to make a dent in responding to emails and texts and comments and everything else before you even start your own life, so to speak. But most days it's a blessing, and it's a blessing because I spent a lot of my life alone. I spent a lot of my life wishing I could understand how people went out and made friends in society, and wishing I could understand why I didn't fit in when I went to the bar. It just never was my scene. Wishing I could understand why I wasn't able to easily approach people, and even like chat rooms and stuff. I really miss the chat rooms, like the AOL chat rooms and stuff, because I would sometimes go in there, and although there was never really a lot of personal touch to it, it was we're human beings. We desire to have human connections. We desire to have conversations. We desire to have people get to know us and to get to know people. And so when I have all these emails and these texts, it's like, holy shit, I'm popular. You know, isn't that what every kid wants in high school? You just want to be popular. So I do enjoy it, you guys. And again, don't ever hesitate if you want to text or call. Here we go. There you are. Let it focus for a minute. There's the info. I don't feel like reaching over with my right arm and standing up and all that, what I normally do with my business card, but there it is. You can pause and get the info. Get your seeing eye glasses if it's too small. Zoom your screen up. Put it on your computer. Put it on your TV. Whatever you got to do. I will say this, though. Please don't come shoot up my house, okay? All I have is a moldy, dilapidated trailer. If you put a bunch of bullet holes in it, it's going to be even worse. And I don't have very good homeowners insurance. So, I'm pretty sure it doesn't cover. Hello, insurance company. I think a subscriber came over and shot up my damn house because I didn't respond to their comment soon enough. I think that's it, you guys. Anything else? Does anybody want to say anything else? I'm going to give you like 1 to 2 minutes. Any other questions? Anything else? Thank you, everybody that's been here. And even if you've came and gone, thank you, everybody that has watched this after it's been posted in the future. We have Jenny is in the future. So she'll watch us in the past, present, future, future, present, past if she watches it again. And I will watch it in the future, past, present, future, future, past, present, present, future. If I watch it again. Does that make sense? Of course it doesn't. It's a conundrum. Nothing else. This is your chance. Unbug the PB out of you. You need to get through. Thanks, Jenny. You guys are awesome too. You really are. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I really like these lives. Ted, enjoy your dinner. Love you, neighbor. Thanks for popping in. Sorry if you didn't get to see the whole thing. I know you like the live events. Is that it? Jenny, real quick, what time of day is it there in Australia? I don't know the time difference. I know certain areas where it's like 22 or 13 hours. Are you 13 hours? Thanks, Ski Boot. Fatty Bunting's is snoring. Shh. Bye, Deborah. Love you too. Okay, 12:48. What the hell time is it here? It can't be that late. 7:48. So you are 12, 15 hours. Wow. Holy shit. You're 15 hours in the future, Jenny. Cool. Yeah, 7:48. If you didn't hear me. 7:48 p.m. So you are 15 hours ahead. If you guys do drink alcoholic beverages, ditch it. It's good. Ted Neitzel, I've been thinking about Uncle CB radio we got off of you today, and I want to get it set up for him for when he comes home from the hospital. He can have something to do. Bye, neighbor Deborah. Anybody else? Anybody else want to say one last thing? That's it? Okay, great. If you guys want to say anything outside of this, you know there's always the commenting. And again, you have my info. Don't ever hesitate, okay? Y'all are far away. Friday. Yeah, it's still Friday here, AJ. She's in the future, Saturday. Jenny is in tomorrow already. Isn't that kind of cool? The people in China and Malaysia and everywhere else over there are in tomorrow. That's amazing. Okay. So, those of you that are regulars here, say it with me. And those of you that aren't, become regulars. And then you can say it with us. Be kind to one another. Everyone's facing a battle. I love all 8 billion of you, even though I suck at it. Let's keep persevering, neighbors. Love your neighbor, damn it, no matter what you believe. Too much Tupac. I only listen to a very limited amount of music, AJ. Love you, neighbors. Take care. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time.